So, thought-provoking. Between 1973 and 1990, I lived in England. I lived in the welfare state, a welfare state. It always was beneficial to me. The bus fares were very cheap at the time that I was there, so travel was easy. I worked very, very hard from the age of 17 in various jobs before I found my vocation and went to drama school. My drama school was paid for by the state, and I was given a small stipend to live on. I still worked anyway because I enjoyed it. Crazy. Anyway, in 1985 or 84, I can't remember which, maybe even 83, I and a group of friends, two other friends, got a council flat. The council flat is a state-built housing, not high-rise. They went to high-rise eventually, and they were all disastrous, but this was like, I think, 5 stories high. You've seen them in the famous English TV shows, procedurals and stuff. So I moved into one of those, and I paid to the state a tiny rent, regularly, roughly, in today's money, about $35 a month. I was surrounded, given my background and my peership, I was surrounded by people who thought, ooh, people who dreamt of Cotswold cottages and neighbors far away across the hill. Trust me, cows mooing at dawn gets old. And anyway, I was living in London. I was living in the urban centre because that's where I worked. I loved it. My mother hated it. Was embarrassed, I'm sure. There was a stigma, I guess, but I was oblivious. It was clean, efficient, enough. It's central, beautifully landscaped. My room was smaller than an American condo she closet, but large enough for myself, my fit self, and my bicycle. We cooked, we had parties, famous ones. The high street had everything we needed: pubs, Indian takeaways, supermarkets. Lovers raged, walls listened, live music a short walk away, indoor swimming pool, free if unemployed, cheap otherwise. It was these state bathhouses that were Victorian, where people used to go and do all their laundry. When we didn't have all washers and dryers, so that working people particularly would go and do their laundry at these great bathhouses, and then they included, as a good idea, a place that people could also wash themselves. And then they thought, oh, well, let's create a swimming pool where people can also exercise themselves. And they were still there, dotted all over London. They still are, these wonderful places. So my house was not my wealth. It wasn't my investment. It wasn't my thing. It was where I lay down at night. So you would ask, did I sit and weep in the bathtub that I had no portfolio? Sorry, no. I had no debt. I still work today at the age of 68. I planned it that way, never thinking I would stop till I drop, when my housing wouldn't matter, would it? Was I Puritan, grinning and bearing in that Protestant way for some greater cause? No, never, not once. I loved it. It had these thick walls, these thick brick walls, which made an urban environment very quiet. It had supervisors who fixed what went wrong for nothing. Oh, buy me a beer, they'd say, in lieu of a tip. The consistent, controllable heat. Did I plan to stay forever? No, I might have done, but adventure called. For a while, I paid the rent to keep my room while I traveled. I'd have done it to this day. Friends visiting London could have used the room. I probably did imagine a world, in fact, they did once or twice. I probably did imagine a world of council flats that I could move on to in Brooklyn or New Mexico, but no, the other places were landlord investments. Their wealth, or should I say worth, rents like yo-yos that only yode, forever to repair, grumpily, landlord wanting an easy life after the hell of his work had sapped his force, not like my work that replenishes it. And I suppose if you did rent from landlords, private landlords, and pay the exorbitant amounts that they charge, you would want to own your own. And so the cycle continues. And so the real estate prices go up, and it does. It becomes your wealth. It becomes you. Bertrand Russell must have assumed of my life in that era that I was indolent, depressed, and unmotivated, as I did not fear, and I didn't live to win. What did I live to do? I lived to create, to discover. I see Russell's society falling apart as I speak, in my council flat. And I did. Ask anyone. I was so busy. We made plays. We rehearsed, wrote, made plays, and played them. No more pay, no pay sometimes, but the ivy crown, the actor's crown. And knowing one had created and created well before the bus or the walk home. We did so much of that. There's a period, 83 to 1990, that set in stone what I later became. You know, you train for 3 years as an actor. You don't know what you're doing. You come out, and if you're lucky, somebody will employ you. If not, you keep working. You keep producing, and you keep getting better. So, tell me, America, how is it with you? With your 50% rent and your mouth full of rue?